Bonjour à tous, ici Raven de la Team TK et aujourd'hui on se retrouve pour très certainement l'ultime session sur Asterigos. Ça aura été quelque chose quand même d'assez important, je trouve. Dans le sens où ça nous aura pris pas mal de temps, quoi. L'histoire se termine l'histoire se termine plutôt pas mal, je trouve.
Hey, sweetie, what's up? Hey, look! I found a new blueprint. Awesome, cutie! It's very detailed. Now I can make more trinkets for you.
J'ai beaucoup.
Thank you.
How can this humble servant be of service, friend? I look forward to your next visit, friend.
Bah on n'a pas grand chose. Bon bah tant pis hein.
This whole situation is infuriating. So many good soldiers. It's difficult not to feel sympathy for Serene's decision. I know she wanted to help the people of the Black Streets, but did she overestimate her abilities? As for Andreas, his ending was exactly like I expected. Too bad I didn't get to see it in person. You did well. He should have paid for his actions long ago.
I'll see you later.
One moment. You fought Andreas. What did you think of him?
He was a tough opponent, and I felt a lot of pressure when he was talking.
He was really annoying, wasn't he?
Did I say that?
Back in Fallon Academy, you might have observed the reason behind the conflict between Andreas and me. He always talked in the most insulting, humiliating way. I warned him so many times that his behavior had a bad influence on the discipline and loyalty of the soldiers. But in the end, I was the one that was punished.
What happened?
I was in command of the escort squad. But things went south, and I was forced to make some difficult decisions. Andreas had no honor or shame. He asked me to abandon the soldiers who fell behind and use them as bait instead.
Oh, that's totally something he would do.
I refused and made my decision based on what the Academy taught. The result was unsatisfactory. It took me a long time to regain my position after being demoted. Yet Andreas kept rising through the ranks. After that, he kept criticizing and victimizing me in order to climb higher. All so he could become Serene's guard.
Aïe aïe
It's
aïe.
hard for me to accept that the Archon wasn't involved.
If I were you, I'd be questioning it too. Thanks for sharing that with me.
It's nothing. I'm only saying it now because I feel it's time to let it go. I've found my home, and I've pledged my loyalty to the mistress. We are all striving to do the right thing. I should feel pride, I know. Thank you, Hilda. What do you want to know?
Bion, I found this.
Is this a dog tag?
Do you recognize it?
I do. I once served as a centurion, you know. I promoted many great soldiers. They were all my brothers. This one was originally a mercenary of the Black Streets, until the army found itself in need of more men.
You allowed mercenaries to join?
It was the Archon's decision. I didn't like it, and as it turns out, they did bring down the overall standard. Some did rise through the ranks to become Aristoi guards, but most were like Uriah, barbarians with no sense or manners. They were good warriors, but they lacked intelligence and were prone to picking fights.
They don't sound like good brothers.
Uriah may not have been my favorite, but I do remember every single soldier who ever served under me. If you find more dog tags, please bring them to me.
No problem. I found a tag in Argus Bazaar. Do you recognize it?
Off a soldier. I've led many men, you know. I was a centurion before becoming an Aristoi guard. I had 100 soldiers under my command.
Do you remember this one?
Oh, Aporio. He was very short and had a nose so big that he couldn't wear a helmet. He always liked to repeat what I said. He wasn't very good with a sword, but very serious. A gentle kid. Sometimes too gentle.
It looks like he fought for the Aristoi Quarter on the front line at Argus Bazaar.
It really wasn't the best position for him. He wanted to join the adherents in the shelter with me, but he was reluctant to disobey orders, so he came to me seeking advice. I told him he should stick with the Legion if he couldn't make up his mind.
Do you think he regretted the decision?
Regret? No. A soldier must be decisive. If he made a decision, he shouldn't regret it. I feel sorry about what happened to Aporio, but if he felt regret, I'd feel more disappointed than sorry. It would be far worse than just joining the adherents in the first place.
I found this. Can you take a look at it?
A dog tag. Let me see. Hippos. He used to be in my squad. He was extremely ordinary. Normal looks, normal personality. He was also ordinary when it came to fighting. He's the kind of guy who gets forgotten by the Decurion during roll call. But he was a veteran of many battles, so he was highly experienced, or at least just lucky enough to have survived. In the end, he reached the position of Decurion, although his fellow soldiers mostly rose to even higher ranks. Perhaps that was as far as he could go. The last time I saw him, he was married and hoping to be promoted to a higher rank to earn more money. Looking at this now, it would seem he failed. May he rest in peace. If he kept his head down, things probably would have gone better for him.
Quoi?
My father once said that seeking something one doesn't deserve usually ends in catastrophe. But I don't think anyone has the right to stop other people from trying to go further.
Wise words from both of you. There's really no right answer about what he should have done.
I think you should have this.
Is this Aeson? He was a most driven soldier, the youngest centurion ever, and guardian of the Fallon Academy. His ambitions exceeded most men's imagination, but you have his dog tag now. Such a mess. How reckless. How foolish. But I'm an even bigger fool. I never expected you to return with his tag. You've certainly proved yourself.
Sorry, but I had no choice.
It's all right. Your mission takes priority. Aeson did his duty and died with honor. I'm proud of him. Oh, Odysseus. It's a pity, but I believe the gods of stars will watch over him. Are you all right?
Yeah.
Don't blame yourself, please. Neither you nor Odysseus did anything wrong. He tried to do what he believed was right, and he never regretted his decision. Not even after this.
Even so, I still think Barad deserved to die. But I didn't think that my decision could lead to this result.
There's never a perfect option. All we can do is to be strong and accept the outcome. If you really feel bad for Odysseus, then you should make sure his spirit lives on.
I will. I hope. Bion, I found this at the entrance to the temple pass in the sunken outskirts.
Vangelis's dog tag. They finally reunited among the stars.
They were good friends?
More than that, they were inseparable. If Odysseus was a man of principle, Vangelis could be described as both boring and stubborn. Their differences were a constant source of arguments. Many times, I thought their friendship was surely over, but the next day, I'd see them in the tavern together.
That sounds so sweet. They were true brothers.
Yes, it was interesting at first. The others loved to joke about them. But after seeing them for so long, I wish they could have taken a step back sometimes. Perhaps then, they would have bickered less.
It couldn't have been easy for you.
There were a lot of soldiers more difficult than them. I worried too much. I just felt bad for them. If they hadn't joined Andreas, things would have been much easier for them. I warned them long ago to stay away from him. Even if they admired Serene, there were other options.
What was that?
Oh, nothing. Just complaining, I suppose.
Bion, I found this in the warden's cage at Styx.
Even Argidios? I should have known.
He was working with Petrius?
People always said his face would scare a prisoner to death. He was actually a devoted believer who went to the temple every week. He had no wife, no children, not even close family. He was always serious and would never crack a joke. But his zealous faith was widely known.
If that's the case, it's only natural that he'd go with Petrius.
Eumenides suspected the same, but we couldn't remove Argidios from his position because of Petrius alone. In the beginning, he didn't show any obvious preference, so we felt relieved. It must have been after Asterigos. Petrius probably persuaded Argidios to follow him in the name of the gods. It's easy to imagine Petrius playing on his fears and weaknesses.
What a shame.
The glory of the
Eh ben,
three.
ça a donné pas mal d'objets. Allez.
Please speak. You seem surprised to hear that the Nexus might shatter. How serious will it be if it does?
The Nexus is a symbol of the spirit of Aethys. It's also the source of our magic. You could say that all of Aethys' glorious achievements are founded on the research and application of the Nexus. Without it, there'd have been no progress. Our lives could have turned out even more primitive and barbaric than those in Anbari. To lift the curse, we must run the risk of shattering the Nexus. But if the curse isn't lifted, then Aethys is doomed. But please, keep this between us. If the other factions knew, they would never allow it. So, I must carefully consider the consequences.
Tanrius did leave us a way to repair the Nexus. Is something else worrying you?
Well, I just hope everything goes smoothly.
There's something else. Have you heard of Petrius's Freethinker scholars?
Yes, but there are only a handful of them. I thought they might even be just a legend.
Well, I came across them in the deeps. One of them told me that Tanrius was their founder.
What? You mean they actually exist?
Yes, and they're unwilling to do anything that would harm life. They're directly opposed to Petrius's approach to research.
That goes along with what I'd heard. It's remarkable. How did he manage to persuade them?
What?
Hilda, I'm very interested in the knowledge that the scholars possess. I'd really like to talk to them. Perhaps I could send Bion to meet with them, if they're willing.
Sounds good. Is there anything I can do?
If you have time, you could ask if they'd be willing to meet. Outside the shelter, naturally.
So, just meet with you.
Yes.
There's one more thing. Minerva, I saw Father.
I see. Are you alright?
Aren't you worried I might go after him?
I am. But you chose to come back and tell me. That shows me you're not planning to betray our agreement. And for that, I am grateful.
As my commander, he ordered me back to Anbari. He says a soldier shouldn't be doing what I'm doing. I don't know what I should do. I want to stay here, of course. But if I stay too long, I'd be disobeying an order. If I wait until this is over, I could be severely punished.
You've had plenty of opportunities to return, and I haven't stopped you. So, why are you still here?
Because if I leave Aphis like this, I know I'll regret it.
And why not be a hero? Not everyone has the chance to stand on such a glorious stage. However, I understand that you're struggling. There are times when I question myself, too. We all face choices. The important thing is that we don't have any regrets.
Thank you.
Hilda?
Time is of the essence.
Welcome back, Hilda. Any news from Styx?
Do you know Aganon? Or rather, Irenaeus?
By the gods, I know Irenaeus. He's one of Petrius's henchmen. You've had dealings with them?
Petrius is nowhere to be seen. I've only spoken to Irenaeus, but they seem to have had a big falling out over some disagreement. So Irenaeus wants to give his knowledge, maybe even his soul, to the adherents in exchange for shelter.
His soul? He said that?
Yes. Take a look at this phylactite.
It sounds utterly absurd. I can't believe that he and Petrius would have had a falling out. He's very loyal to Petrius. If this isn't a trick, then what could have happened? But he is really the only person that can give me the details I need on Styx.
He says he'll wait for your answer at the Fallon Trail mission.
I need to analyze this phylactite first. Before I do, could you get me some more information?
Petrius's crazy disciples occupy most of the prison, and they're conducting experiments on prisoners.
Really? It looks like Marble and Petrius made some kind of pact to maintain the balance through terror.
Right. With no warden and no Petrius and Styx right now, all the prisoners and fanatics are free to do their own thing. The whole situation there is perfect for the Physicoi's crazy experiments. If it's not madmen and monsters roaming around, it's innocent people just waiting to be captured and experimented on.
Are they also using stardust?
Not everyone needs it. Just like the Ethris cultists, those Physicoi can transform people into monsters.
I see. It would appear we have no way of getting in there for now. We should be thankful that they have no plans to come out and attack the city.
Or maybe the city's too small a target for them. I found the Archon relic.
Great. I was worried we'd have to negotiate with Petrius.
I kind of did. I talked with some part of him in the deepest part of the prison.
A part of him?
It was like a weird ball of light. It spoke to me and claimed to be the will of Petrius from 500 years ago. It said lots of strange things, and seemed to know what I wanted. It just gave me the Archon relic without me even asking.
Interesting.
Honestly, it gave me the creeps.
Me too. But I'm also curious to know just how far his magic has come.
And Irenaeus's Flactite? What did the analysis show?
I can't explain it very well. There are still a few things I need to verify. I'll go to the mission with Bion. If Irenaeus accepts my conditions, then I'll allow him to come. Right now we lack manpower. The more intelligence, the better. At the very least, I should negotiate with him in person to determine the truth.
Understood. Let me come with you.
All right. Let's meet at the mission.
Alors, le sentier de Falon. Qu'est-ce que c'est ça déjà? C'est sûrement à Falon. Hein. Ah purée, j'avais pas vu. Et ça aussi que je pourrais mettre. Ah, il y avait des trucs rigolos quand même. Hein. Enfin bref. La salle accès vert.
There they are. Otto! How is he?
Don't worry, he's fine. Just sleeping.
He looks much better.
He's through the work.
It's been a while, Priest Irénée.
Oh, I didn't expect that the mistress would be the mastermind behind all this. It's an honor to meet you again. You appear as alluring as a rose blooming in the sun. Asterigos has obviously not diminished your beauty one bit.
No need for niceties. Let's get straight to the point. You've always been loyal to him. What made you want to defect to the Adherents?
He forced me to disobey the creed of the gods, so I can no longer serve him.
That's a departure from what I know of the Archon. I thought he was someone who had placed more importance on power and reputation. Did he reveal his true self while he was imprisoned?
Allow me to be frank. Before he left, Petrius said he was going to pay Eumenides a visit. Eumenides merging with the Nexus aroused his interest. It also inspired him. So...
I understand. You're not telling me anything I couldn't have easily guessed myself.
But do you know how Eumenides regained his consciousness? And why he can move freely around Aphis? You don't understand the theory behind it, but I do. I believe that this will help you in your quest against Eumenides.
You know much, it seems. Bion, are you ready?
Anytime.
Are you using orichalcum shackles? I can sense what this man is holding in his hands.
They will temporarily seal your magical powers. I hope you understand.
Afraid of being restrained, but I have to remind you that orichalcum shackles won't be effective against me in my current state.
What of your oath to the One? Do you still uphold it? If you want us to work with you, I have some conditions. You cannot betray the Adherents, and you must keep yourself to yourself. Furthermore, you must disclose to the Adherents everything you know, and your movements will be monitored closely by Bion while you are in the shelter. Are you willing to swear on the honor of the One to accept these conditions in exchange for the aid of the Adherents?
I, Irénée, swear on the honor of the One to accept the conditions laid out by Mistress Minerva of House Laurel.
Okay.
I do hope the journey isn't too long. Lead the way, Mistress.
Hilda, we'll return soon. Could you please return to the shelter ahead of us?
But Otto...
Don't worry. Bion will be in charge of bringing him back as well.
All right then.
The revered High Priest, the Archon's successor, of whom the Archon has high expectations, is also a hypocritical politician and a murderer. Fanaticism and ignorance have caused Irénée to fall from his height of power into an abyss of despair. When one sins, can one see the light in the dark?
Et il y a
It's said
encore
that
ce
as
symbole
it
du
stands,
serpent.
people can give up everything in the pursuit of self-actualization. Is it magic that has twisted our nature? Or is this what we truly are?
Ok, intéressant.
The beautiful stars will once again shine upon Aphis and us.
I will take care of the situation here for now. Go on back.
Why did he suddenly start talking to himself?
Maybe I should check in with Minerva first. Can I bother you for a moment?
Sure, go ahead.
You don't seem too concerned about Irénée handing over his soul.
That's because it's not just his soul. In fact, it's an aggregation of numerous souls. I've never seen a phylactite that can contain so many.
What?
I didn't believe it at first. It was only when I analyzed the magic energy inside him that I was convinced he was the source of the phylactite. He doesn't only have his soul inside him, but the aggregated energy of numerous souls.
Ok.
So is he even still Irénée?
That's a good question. I was thinking the same thing. In his words and actions at least, he's the person I knew. I need some time to observe him and to talk with him some more before I can understand everything that's happened. Looks like the people in Styx have gone through something unimaginable.
Out of everything you've told me, that's the one thing I can fully understand.
Everything's ready, Hilda. Tell me when you're good to go.
How are things here?
Thanks to the 3 relics you recovered, and this precious spark, it's looking up. And everything's been done before the Trinity. We're so close to victory.
So what do we do next?
To perform the ritual, we need to ascend Callum's summit at the Trinity. So prepare yourself. We'll wait for the Trinity together.
On entre dans la dernière phase. Ah bah oui, logique. Alors Trinité, la nuit de la Trinité engendre une activité magique accrue dans tout Hafès. De puissantes créatures ennemies ayant muté à cause de la magie apparaissent dans toute la région. Essayez de les affronter. Ok.
I'm ready. What's the situation?
Trinity has descended upon us. Can you feel the enormous energy around?
Yes. It's hard to describe the feeling.
Come, Hilda. This magic allows your weapon to damage Eumenides' apparitions.
That's great, but why didn't you do this earlier? Every time I've encountered him, I've wanted to beat the tar out of him.
Effect can only last a limited time. Marble didn't want to share his secret, so I had to figure out a way myself. Confronting Eumen is inevitable. I just hope we don't have to fight the Northwind Legion.
We won't. At least I don't think we will.
I can't promise what will happen on the mountain, but I'll do my best to support you.
Is there anything else you want to ask before we go?
Dernière étape, lorsque vous aurez commencé l'ascension du sommet de Kayum, vous ne pourrez plus accéder aux quêtes secondaires se rapportant à Minerve, Bion ou Sérine ou à certains événements.
I'm ready. On
Confirmé.
your orders, mistress.
Good. Your morale seems high. I'll meet you at the back of Euphenia Plaza.
Comme j'ai dit, on est sur la dernière étape. Je me demande même si je vais pas acheter des potions, histoire d'être...
I hear you return from Styx safe and sound. You're quite something, friend. I've always wanted to enter Styx, and it should be a lot safer now that you've cleared the place. For that, I am very grateful, kind friend. I look forward to your next visit, friend.
Ah, du coup, c'est de là que venait cette espèce de grosse... comment dire, la grosse barrière qu'on pouvait pas traverser.